Welcome to another episode of Live Your Yes Life, the podcast. This is the space where we come to share with you tips, tricks, tools, empowered conversations to help you go from hoping, wishing, crossing your fingers, and praying for a better life to actually living the life of your dreams, or what we call your yes life. I'm Kaela Gedda. I'm one of your co-hosts. And along with this podcast, we have a book available on Amazon and a private Facebook group by the same name as this podcast, Live Your Yes Life. So if you want more, go check out those spaces. Okay, today I have a juicy topic for you that is important. And my friends, I think that you're probably going to want to grab a paper and pen. I know that I say that a lot, but we're going to be talking about a scale, and you're going to want to take notes and write things down and chart out where you are on your scale. Now, if you're driving or walking, it's all good. Keep listening. Don't click off, but you might want to circle back to take some notes later. So today we're going to talk about what to do if you have been giving your power over to your bank account. So let's break down, what do I even mean by that? Well, my friends, giving your power over to your bank account usually sounds something like, I just have to check my bank account first. Or I totally would, but I just can't afford it right now. Or let me see how much money is left in my account after I pay my bills this week. Any version of that means that we are letting our bank account be our boss. And there's no shame in that. I think that this is something that many of us find ourselves doing, but it's not very empowering if we're being honest. To think about that this inanimate object, our bank account, is actually the one calling the shots in our life. So if that's you, do not despair. I am here to give you a play-by-play today on what you can do instead of giving your power over. And these are going to be actionable steps. Actionable, that's what I'm trying to say. These are going to be actionable steps that you can take starting today. Okay, so we all know what a bank account is and how it works. You deposit money in, you debit money out, and if it's there, it's there, and if it's not, it's not. And many of us have been taught or modeled that bank account has the ultimate say, like it is the authority. And I hear this all the time. In fact, I just had a new client on board, and in her discovery call, we were talking about, so what's really keeping you from having what you want? And she was like, my bank account, I just don't have the money to invest in the things that I want. And I took a little note on that, and we talked about later how that is not necessarily the capital T truth, but it's how she was holding it. And if you're like nodding along, like, yeah, Kaela, if I don't have the money for it, there's nothing else I can do. Well, let me take you into a new world today. So instead of having our bank account be the ultimate authority, be what has the deciding power, the other thing that we can do is take a look at our belief account. And already, hold your eye roll, my friends. If you're like, I don't have a belief problem, I believe in myself fully, I really want to invite you to hear me out on this, because it may be true that you feel like I totally believe in myself. But what I want you to know is that belief is not all or nothing. It is not yes or no. It is actually a scale. It is not black or white. There are colors to it. It is a rainbow. So we can believe in ourselves in a spectrum. And I have not creatively at all labeled these different levels on the belief scale, B1, B2, B3, B4, and B5. And I'm going to break down what the belief experience is at each of those. I know, not very creative, but easy to understand, okay? So let me give you the premise of this, and then I'm going to break it down and walk you through each one so that you can identify where you are and why it's important to know where you are, and how that will help you shift from having your bank account be your boss to something else. So let me just cut to the chase and say that if you want to stop having your bank account be your boss, what you can do instead is up your belief account. Okay, you can raise yourself to the next level on the belief scale. Here's why that works every time. It's just simple logic, my friends. Of course, if I do not believe that I can have what I want, or I don't believe that I can have it right now, or I don't believe that I can have it with support, or I don't believe that I can have it with like unlimited support, of course I'm not going to take action, right? If I want something, but there's a part of me that thinks, but you can't have it, or but it's not going to work for you. Like people like you can't have it, or maybe you can have it later, but it's not going to work for you right now. Why would I take any action? I'm not going to. So that is just logic. If I don't believe that it's going to work for me, or that I can have it, or that I'm the kind of person that deserves it, or that I'm worthy enough, or that it can happen right now, or that I can have support, all of these things, I am not going to take action. And our actions determine our results. So if I'm in inaction, if I'm not taking action, then I'm not going to have the result I want. And therefore, I won't even bother trying to create access to the money. If I do not believe that I can have it, I will not even bother working to see how I could create access to it. It's the easiest option if I don't think I'm worthy enough or don't think I can have it, is just to look at my bank account and have that be the deciding factor. Just to look at my bank account and say, well, I can't afford it. I don't have the money for it. And that is where we lose our power. That is where we hand our power over to our bank accounts, and it really does not serve us. Because the truth is that there is always a way to create income. There is always a way to create access to cash. In fact, let me call your attention to page 138 in our book, Live Your Yes Life. We have a list here of 24 ways that you can be resourceful with money, aka 24 ways that you can access money when you are looking for it. When you're like, I want to make an investment, I have something going on that I need money for. So there's always a way, and I've given you 24 of those ways in our book on page 138 if you want to check it out. Okay, I digress. Back to where I was. So, can you see now how it's just like self-preservation? That if I don't think I'm worthy, I'm not going to take action. But what that's really doing is giving away our power. And so the remedy is to look at our belief account instead of our bank account. Let me say that again. The remedy is to look at our belief account instead of our bank account. Let's go over to the belief scale, our belief account, and look at what the different levels mean and how we can identify where we are on the scale. I do have a PDF of this, so I will drop that in the show notes. So look around where you're watching this video, find the link if you want an image, because this is a lot of information and it's probably helpful to see. So we're going to start at the foundation, at B1. The belief experience, what someone who's at B1 believes is, I believe it's possible. So whatever the thing is, it's like, I believe it's possible. I'm going to use I don't want to say a generic example. Let's say a common example that I hear from a lot of people, and no shade, because I think that this is a really good goal for folks to have if it's in alignment for you. Let's use the example of wanting to have your business create $100,000 of revenue. This, again, is a goal that many clients have when they're coming to us. They want to have their first six-figure year. So at B1, you're like, I believe it's possible. I believe that some people out there in the world can have a six-figure business. I believe that some people can have a business that generates $100,000 of revenue or more. Now, at B1, we don't necessarily believe that I can have that. We just know that it's possible. Versus like a goal of living on Pluto, we might be like, honestly, I don't know if that's possible. Like, I don't know if anybody can live on Pluto right now. And so we're not even at B1, right? But $100,000 revenue, B1, I believe it's possible. Now, there's two ways you can identify where you're at. Either you can be like, yeah, that's my experience. Like, I think it's possible, and so that's where I am. The other way to determine where you are in the belief scale is to identify yourself in the actions. So what I'm going to give you is some common actions. I have made this scale for entrepreneurs, but you could sub it out based on fitness or health goals, relationship goals, etc. But these are common actions for entrepreneurs who have a goal and they're at a B1 experience. The kinds of things the B1 person is doing they're spending their days running errands. They're working on household chores. They're taking care of their family. They're working a job, like a 9 to 5. They are scrolling social media and they are trying to get by. So someone that's doing those actions and they have a goal, they're like, I believe it's possible, but I'm not sure if it's possible for me. So then we go up into B2. This is the next level of belief. And the belief experience for someone who's at B2 is, I believe it's possible for me. So now we have moved from, okay, I think it's possible, to I actually think it's possible for me. And the actions that someone is doing at B2 are they're doing things like they're reading books and listening to podcasts. They're taking courses. They're often multitasking, like they're still doing a lot of the B1 activities, but they're doing it while consuming. Like maybe even right now, you are like folding laundry, but you're listening to this podcast because you're like, I know that I'm trying to tap into the tools and the resources to help me grow. And P.S., I just want to say that I have moved through all of these levels with this very goal, and I'll talk more about how we cycle through them. But when I was first getting started as an entrepreneur, I had this journey. Like I didn't even really know if it was possible for me at first until I did decide, and I moved into B2. And I saw that I watched myself move from scrolling social media, doing household chores, working my job, into B2 when I was taking courses, when I'm reading books, when I'm podcasting, when I am listening to audibles while folding my laundry, and I move myself into B2. So the next level up is B3, and the belief experience at B3 is, I believe it's possible for me now. So in B2, we just think at some time in my life, it could be possible. And at B3, we're like, you know what? I think that like now, like right now, I could do it. Like I can take the actions now and the result can come. And the kind of actions that are most common in B3 are things like we're building our website, we're taking courses, we're dedicating about 2 to 4 hours on our dream each day. We are planning what our offer is going to be. We're spending time not just scrolling social media, but intentional in Facebook groups and posting on social media to drive our business forward. And we're doing things like attending networking meetings. So we're putting ourselves out there, we're making intentional connections, we are getting ourselves set up for the people to come in, and some of them might be starting to come in. Then we move up to B4, and that belief experience is, I believe it's possible for me now with support. With support. And the most common actions of someone in B4 are that they're getting coached, they're outsourcing household tasks, they're hiring a VA, they're making offers on social media, so not just informational or valuable posts, but offers. They are not just attending networking meetings, but they're leading those kind of meetings or calls. They're taking care of themselves, so they're prioritizing well-being, and they are collaborating with others. And it's really in B3 that we start to see some income, and B4 that we start to see that we are able to start achieving our revenue goals. And then we go up into B5, which is the highest belief level on this scale. And it is, I believe it's possible for me now with unlimited support. Unlimited support. And the most common actions of someone in B5 is that they're fully supported by a team at home and at work. The only things they're doing at home for the family are work that brings them joy. In their work, they're solely focused on revenue building activities and then the delivery of the products or services. They are deeply nourishing their mind, body, and soul. They are leveraging resources and they are scaling. And they have multiple sources of income. Even if it's from one business, they have multiple revenue streams within that business. So that is the belief scale in a nutshell. Like I said, there is a PDF that you can click. Okay, so again, the remedy, if you're currently giving your power over to your bank account and you're like, well, what do I do instead? Increase your belief in yourself. If you're at B2 and you're like, I know it's possible for me, increase your belief in yourself. Dive into your next level, your deeper level of self-worthiness, self-trust, and dial up your belief scale, because when we do that, our actions change. The more we believe in ourselves, the more our actions change. And we can see how, like, if there's something that someone in B1 wants versus someone in B3, the person in B1 probably won't take a lot of action towards that. But the person in B3 is like, okay, well, how do I create that? How do I create access to that? What's the next step for me to take? Because they're in a different kind of action mode, etc. So that is the way that we shift what we want. If right now you're having an experience where you find yourself saying, I can't afford it, the invitation is to increase your belief in yourself. Pay more mind to your belief account than your bank account. The more that you believe in yourself, the more that you see new possibilities for yourself and that you see that doors are open for you to take advantage of the resources that are here and made for you so that you can have a new experience of what you want. This is what I have done time and time and time again. And I alluded to this before, but what happens is that we cycle through the belief scale, right? We work our way up to B5, and then there's a new, bigger goal that comes along, and we cycle through it again. So there's never any shame or judgment as to where we are on the belief scale, but we're consistently cycling ourselves through. And the invitation is to move up one level at a time. If you are thinking now, like, okay, Kaela, this is all good and fine. I love the idea of increasing my belief, but how? I have a little something for you. So, in addition to the belief scale, we created a handy dandy supplementary resource that we call the Belief Portal. And the Belief Portal is where you get, it's essentially like 5 days of pocket coaching delivered right to your email inbox. So you get one email a day that has an audio message. Think of it like a podcast. That's about 10-ish minutes long. And it has an exercise, like a quick action for you to take that day. So you listen to that 10-minute audio every day. You can listen while you're brushing your teeth and brushing your hair. You can listen while you're driving to work. You can listen while you're making lunch. You can find 10 minutes in your day when you can give yourself a listen and then take on the action for the day. And if you take on this action every day for 5 days, you will be well on your way, if not actually having given yourself the boost into the next level of your belief. The Belief Portal is super juicy, and I have a super juicy offer for you. Right now, we're offering the Belief Portal for $22. Now, that being said, if you listen to this podcast later, that could change. The price could go up. I don't know. But while I'm recording this right now, if you listen to it in the near future, the price for the Belief Portal is $22. So you get to have Lisa and I be coaches in your pocket every day for 5 days to walk you through the necessary action steps to help increase your belief. If you are someone who wants to break up with your bank account being your boss, increasing your belief is the way. I'm telling you that this is the place I go every time I want to see something new. It's to ratchet up my belief in myself. And I believe that you can have this too, and I want you to. So click the link below so that you can join us for the Belief Portal. It's self-guided. You can start any day. You can get it right now. You'll get an automated email with the first pocket coaching message and the first action for the day. So you can get started today and do it the next 5 days. And once you've got it, you've got it. So you can do it as many times as you want, again and again, which makes it a super hot resource. Thank you for tuning in. It's always great to be here with you. Hop over on Facebook. Tell me, hey, let me know that you listened to this episode. Tell me what you want more of. We love taking requests. And I will see you here or on any of the social medias soon. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.